What is up, Misfits and Moonbasers? It's your boy Ray Recall once again, at last, with another video review. Sorry for the wait. School got crazy, and then I got sick, and just been dealing with a bunch of junk left and right. But hopefully, we put an end to that, and now we have some time. Excuse me, to get into some reviews. So today we're going to be doing something a little different. I know I say that every single time we're reviewing something, but I actually made it this time. So instead of one figure review, today we're going to be, like I said, doing something a little different. We'll be reviewing 6 different figures. Kinda. You'll see what I mean in a moment. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get right to it. So today we'll be reviewing the Transformers Generations Combiner team for Orthia. Yeah, so there we have them all right now. So this is the first, well, it's not the first official female combiner. There was, of course, the Victorion set, as well as the Megatronia set. I think that was the Takara version. And there have been also, whenever Power of the Primes Elita 1 was first released, her combiner, which didn't have an official team, was called Elita Infinite. But whenever Transformers Siege came out, which is a continuation of the Generations line, Greenlight here had a special blacklit code that if you entered it on Transformers' website, you got a schematic, which is going to be the thumbnail for this video. And on it, you see basically blueprints for Orthia. There was also a teaser for Siege Lancer here, who's actually a Generation Select. And then Greenlight and Dazzle Strike, which were these two packaged together, those were an Amazon exclusive. But then all these 3 came out during Power of the Primes. It's a bit weird with the spacing out of, when you were able to get these figures, blah, 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 blah. Some people even say that there wasn't planned to be an official team, but we got them now. So the way this will work is I'll just review the 2 distinct figures first. And then when we get to the Limbot, since they're all basically the exact same transformation and whatnot, I'll just go into one in good detail and then go over the differences over all 4 of them. And then we'll get into combine mode if we have time for this video. If not, I'll make it another video. So that is that. So first of all, let's go ahead and get the Limbots out of the way first. And yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and get started with the basic one. So first up is the Weaponizer Dazzle Strike. Come on, focus. There we go. There she is. So Dazzle Strike is basically a just straight recolor of Siege Lionizer. As you can see, there's no differences whatsoever except for in the eyes. Lionizer has an Autobot symbol tampographed onto the top of his head, and the colors on the blade, beam, weapon, whatever. And they transform the exact same too. If you've seen my Lionizer review, you already know that the articulation, ball joints at the legs. This is on a hinge that can come off, and this is a 3mm post, so any Battle Masters that can fit that, or I think even maybe some, I don't know, some Minicon. I think there was like 1 or 2 Minicons. You can attach, just for anything that has a 3mm port in the hand. Now, just like the Battle Master Lionizer, Dazzle Strike does come with an effect part, which is this awesome flame effect. And as well, just like Lionizer, you can attach it to the back to make it seem like she's hauling ass or something like that. It doesn't really work as well because it's not as deep. And then if you transform it, which again is super simple transformation, just want to make sure that anywhere that there's a tab and a little notch, just want to make sure that lines up. So you want it lined up there, want it lined up there, want it lined up there. That little tab goes into that notch, and then lined up there. Boom. And then just take the head, flip it down. You got a handle. Now, weirdly enough, this is the effect that came with, excuse me, Dazzle Strike. But in the instructions, they call her weapon mode a Shadow Steel Ice Blade. Which is interesting, because if you replace it with the effect that Lionizer had, that looks more like an ice sword to me. Fortunately, they do attach through the same connections, so if you want to swap them out, you can. You have options, versatility, blah, 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 blah. So we'll just get those off to the side. Oh, and since I have both, real quick size comparison. Mainline Deluxe. There you go. So we'll just get these out of the way for now. And so yeah, real simple, Lionizer. Or Dazzle Strike. Dazzle Strike. Not Lionizer. Sorry. Okay, so next up, we'll be reviewing the big bot on the scene, Elita 1. Now, this is Power of the Primes Voyager class Elita 1. And she is a heavy, heavy remold of the Power of the Primes Voyager Starscream. There's basically, I don't think there's hardly any components on here that are actually of the same mold. I used to have the Starscream. I had it for the combiner form, the King Starscream, but ended up giving that away to a friend of mine who really likes Starscream because I got too many Starscreams as it is, and really the Siege Voyager one is outstanding. I don't even think I'm going to replace it with the Earthrise Voyager because I just like it so much. But anyway, so real quick, she's Voyager, standard Voyager size. Has one landing gear up front that is retractable, and then back here are some little nubs that she just rests on. It works. And then as far as accessories, she does come with 2 pieces of prime armor, which are very obviously the combined mode foot. And as I said, she comes with 2 of them. She does come with the Autobot Enigma of combination, or one of them, because I think the Inferno one, that's a remold of Hotspot, also has an Autobot Enigma, but it's a different design. But there's that. And then she also has these 2 pistols right here. Real simple, 5mm port on the bottom. Easy done. In this mode, there isn't really any gimmicks, except for one. You can open up the cockpit and either put a Prime Master in there. You can put there's like a little notch back there, and a tab here, so you can drop the Enigma in there. Or if you really want to get morbid, you can drop a Titan Master, one of the Headmaster dudes in there, but that just looks weird. And it doesn't really work so much in this or in robot mode, but it comes into play more in the combined mode. So we'll get to that later, though. So yeah. Now transformation is pretty simple. Basically, you're just untabbing a bunch of stuff. So you come over here, take these 2 panels, untab them. This is on a very loose armature, so just bring that out. You'll want to take the wings, untab them from the arms, and this is on a soft ratchet, so it does have like some click points there. Do that on the same side. Take the arms and untab them from the legs. Bring them out. And then you want to take this whole booster section and just pull it out. That'll extend these struts that you can see in there. Make sure that they click into place. This panel flips up, and this little, I don't know if you can see, this little nub will go into that port right there. Lock that into place. and take the toes and flip them down. Now for these side stabilizers, you can flip them back if you want. I kind of like the look of them out. So just make sure that the same is done on the other side. There you go. Now on my copy, these feet were swapped, and I knew that they were swapped because, as you can see, they have a natural slant to them, so I had to take out some screws. I pretty much had to disassemble the whole leg, which was a pain, but easily done, and it was able to put it back together pretty easily. Rotate the head, come back here, rotate the wings assembly. As you can see, there's a little nub and a little port that just kind of softly tabs in there. It doesn't really stick in that well. And then if you can see, these two white pegs will go into these little ports right here. And then these panels just, there we go. And then these two panels right here just flip down onto the back. And there you have Elita 1 in a robot mode. And, sorry, I'm still a little sick. But she looks pretty good. She looks really nice. I love the way that this mold just works for her. It works a lot better for her than it did for Starscream, in my opinion, because, you know, Starscream has a very expected body type, same way, you know, with Optimus Prime, Prowl. You know, there's certain characters that come to mind, and then you just know what they're supposed to look like. And this design didn't really work that well for Starscream, but it works really nice for Elita 1. Very nice, very tall. Kind of has the Popeye arms a little bit, but, you know, it's not too bad. Just means that she punches harder or something. I don't know. Real quick, get a close look at the head sculpt right here. Face sculpt. If I can zoom. Beautiful, beautiful head sculpt on this. I love the clean paint and the very good detail on it. And it goes all the way around the back. Yeah. Also, a lot of stickers on this figure. Stickers are just loaded up everywhere, especially on the wings. And I think it was the same way with Starscream too. It doesn't really bother me too much. Especially whenever they're all combined up, you really don't notice it, except for unless the light hits it right and it just shines. Because these are kind of foil stickers. Can't really tell on the camera, but... So as far as articulation goes, head is all in a ball joint. Very nice emotive properties. Again, you can do it 360. Arms, very soft ratchet, but they can go 360. Hard ratchet going in and out. Bicep rotation with about 90-degree bend at the elbow. Nothing at the wrist, nothing at the waist, but it's a combiner. I can forgive that. Legs can go forward that far. Let's see, back about that far. Can do a full high kick. Right at this point here, there is a thigh rotation. You get a pretty decent bend out of it at the knee. You can do a bit of a high knee kick, and nothing really at the foot. There you go. So, for size comparisons, here she is with a mainline deluxe. Mainline Voyager, which even though these two feel about the same in weight, and this one's a little bit smaller, this guy feels a lot more dense, more solid. Excuse me, I do like that with what they were doing. How, you know, the Power of the Primes figures felt a little bit wibbly. This guy feels dead solid. Like, he's not going anywhere unless you, like, really, really mess with him. And then finally, here she is with a mainline leader class figure. Excuse me. Now, as far as accessories go, you know, she does have the two pistols, which she can dual wield. As far as the Prime armor goes, you know, these inside panels can flip up. That shows a post. And then the pistols themselves can tab in right here, if I can get it to work. There you go. And you can have them shoulder mounted, or you can do what I do. Just leave the prime armor off to the side and put the guns where they were in jet mode. And that works pretty well. And then, of course, you know, the prime armor, you know, has that little slot in it that you can stick the Enigma in if you want. And you can also stick it in the cockpit in the back, but just leave them off to the side. It doesn't, the armor attached will just really hurt the overall look rather than, providing good aesthetic. So I'm going to go ahead and move her off to the side. And now we're going to get into the limb bots. So as I said before, they're all the same mold, with the only differences being one or two aesthetic cues, but they all function the exact same. And and the weapons too. The weapons are a little bit different, but we'll go ahead and go into those differences in a minute. So for the one that we're going to be doing the full review on, will be the first one that I came in contact with, Moonracer. So this is the first one I believe that they released, and then all the rest either came after or were redesigns of this. If you saw my Siege Chromia review, Siege Chromia is actually a heavy retool of this mold, and you can probably see some of those similarities. Yeah. So as far as accessories go, she's got this whole block back here, which just removes. It's kind of like a molded thruster. But it does have her scope pistol, which is really nice. I don't think I've ever seen a Transformer with a scope pistol before. Come on, focus. There we go. And she has her prime armor, which includes, you know, a spot that you can put, you know, an Enigma, you can put a Prime Master, Titan Master, and of course the little thing that is on that fills that gap is a gun that she can use. So super simple. As far as vehicle mode goes, has 4 wheels, rolls fairly decently. My camera needs to focus. There we go. And yeah, so there you have it. Now to get her transformed, we're just going to go into the robot mode, and we'll get into the ins and outs of limb mode if there's time to do the combiner itself. So to get this transformed, you just basically drop down this section right here. You can see there are tabs and ports. Just drop this down, take this panel, drop it down. You can see there are little notches that go over that tab, and split the legs. Take this section, lift it up, and rotate at the waist, right there. Next, come to these panels, push them off to the side, just for now, and then take this whole block, bring it forward. Move the arms out of the way, just so you have clearance. Then there's the head, which comes up and around. That'll also, you know, hide that port where the prime armor plugged in thruster mode. And then just push this back so it's flush, and then you can rotate this section here. And this will actually keep this from moving forward, so it locks it into place. Once you do that, there are 2 tabs and then 2 notches. Just lift that up, notch it into place, and then take these panels, flip them to the back, lower the arms, straighten the wrists. And get her situated. Camera needs to focus. There we go. And there you have Power of the Primes Deluxe Moonracer in her robot mode. And a lot of pros with this mold, a lot of cons as well. Biggest thing is literally, Jobby the Hong would have a heart attack. Yeah, all that junk in the trunk, and even right here on the legs. You know, these panels don't rotate or anything like that. So it does look a little chunky in some areas while looking a little anemic in others. But, you know, it works pretty well. Get in close on that head sculpt. Right there. If it'll focus. Again, really like these head sculpts. Very clean sculpting, very clean paint on them. They just look amazing. So, as far as articulation goes, head is on a ball joint as well as a bit of a hinge joint right here. The arms can do a full 360. Backpack does get a little bit in the way. Ball joint at the elbow, so you can rotate and bend a little over 90 degrees. Wrist goes in about that much, but that's maybe that's more for transformation. You do have, even with the backpack locked in, you do have a waist joint down here. You have a bend at the, oh wait, hang on. You have a thigh rotation right up there. Bend at the knee, and then for transformation to other modes, you have a double bend down here. But the bend at the knee is pretty good. You have a foot tilt, and then just a little bit of an ankle pivot. Right there. So, she's okay, decently posable. And for size comparison, here she is with another mainline deluxe. Mainline Voyager. Leader class. And Elita 1. There we go. Now, as far as her weapon accessories go, she can hold both guns. Scope pistol looks really cool on her. The other one is just, you know, it works, but, you know, that's just kind of like a bone they threw for the fans. This just plugs right back in. Prime armor can be attached several ways. She does have ports on the side of her arms where you can use it like a bracer, or maybe if you use the thrusters, maybe a flamethrower cannon or something like that. Or if you notice how she has these two little notches on the side, two tabs, they just kind of, I want to make sure that that's put forward, just kind of soft tab in there. There you go. And you have that. Get that out of there. So, yeah, Prime Armor, basically it's only good for combined mode. Now, now that that's said, I'll just real quick get all the other limb bots transformed, and we'll look at the little similarities and differences on those. So, one moment. Bam! So, here we have them all in their robot mode, since the vehicle modes are all identical, and of course, you know, the Prime Armors are all identical. Interestingly enough, Power of the Primes, these were just Prime Armors, but in Siege, the two Power of the Primes figures, they called it Prime Armor, and the two Siege figures called it Sonic Electro Armor. So, I don't know. Whatever. But basically, these are just hands for the combiner. So, but we'll get into that in a minute. Now, as far as details go, all of them have this, as I was, Green Light, or darn it, Moonracer and Nova Star have the exact same body mold. The only difference is in the head sculpt. And let's get a look at her head sculpt real quick. Really clean. And then the two weapons. Right there. Now, as for Green Light and Lancer, There was some slight retooling done. For example, they retooled the forearms a bit so that they removed the port, which is weird because I thought Siege was supposed to have all the ports everywhere. This also kind of gets in the way of the transformation into vehicle mode, but I think it's just to make the knees look better in combined mode, which these two form the legs in combined mode, the official combined mode. So, also, Greenlight and Lancer were packaged with this piece down. It can fold up just like on Moonracer and Novastar, but I don't know, it just kind of makes them look a little more different, kind of like they have a cape or coattails or something like that. And then, Lancer has the exact same gun as Novastar, with except in cast in black and with a blue stripe painted on it. And Greenlight, of course, came with Dazzle Strike. And then also the torsos are molded a bit differently for Greenlight and Lancer as opposed to Novastar and Moonracer. You can see they kind of have abs there. And then the two head sculpts as well. Let's see if I can... Come on, camera, zoom in, focus. There we go. Those two head sculpts. Very clean head sculpts. I don't know what Lancer's deal is, but she looks like she's troubled by something. So, anyway, there you have that. So, just to kind of get a group shot together. Oops. Here we'll just, if they want to cooperate, we'll just get everybody in frame, more or less. And there's Lancer. Come on. Come on. There we go. And Alita 1 in the background. So there you go. Now, I think my recorder only has about 30 minutes of video, so I'm going to have to cut this episode short, but I'm going to go ahead and start filming part 2 right after this, and that will be the combined mode for all of them. So, thank you so much for watching, and keep on the lookout for part 2 in just a few moments. So, thank you.